Let me see if we got anybody else in the lobby. And, you and I can contact you.
Good.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep.
You have your notes pulled up too?
I can. For which child?
I think it's Jackson. That one. Yeah. But I think it was with Judge Porter. Told Judge he should stay in detention if he lets Judge down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Gonna go on there?
Yes. All right, we're just waiting on the child. All right, Jaden Alford. Jaden Alford.
Office. Hello? Yes, I got to call you back. I'm on a Zoom call. I'm on a Zoom.
About 50%. It's about 50%. It's gone down. Well, yeah, it was over 80 last week.
It feels better in here.
Yeah. So Bradley?
Judge Kim,
Yes.
we look for Alfred.
Yes.
He's on his way.
Okay. Are all the other children there?
Yes, they are.
Okay, let's just go with the next one then.
Alfred, Alfred, bring a chair. Come on.
Bradley. So what? Let's just go. If he's not there, we'll just go to the next one. We have a lot of children today.
He's here.
Well, I mean,
He's here right now. He just got here. Come on, have a seat right in the laptop here. Right in front of the laptop, sir. Right in front of the laptop, sir. Scoot up.
I'm right.
all right, Mr. Alford, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention docket for the 323rd.
Round kid.
Okay, for the 323rd. And so, Mr. Alford,
Round kid.
could you please pay?
Hey, I'm not supposed to be right here right now.
Where are you, Jaden Alford?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're just waiting on the parent.
You sit up there, ma'am, so I can hear you.
All right, Mr. Alford, I'm Judge Kim. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court. When a child is brought to our detention facility, you have to see a judge within 2 business days, and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. Mr. Alford, is something more important than what I'm saying to you?
No, sir.
Why do you keep on looking back?
It's just noise back there.
So it's more important than what I'm saying to you.
No.
Okay. So you have to see a judge within 2 business days of coming into custody. If I keep you in custody, you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. Also want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, Ms. McGonigal, you're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Alford. Let's see, 15 years old. You were originally brought in. You're 12 years old. You're brought in for a runaway. A month later, you're brought in for a runaway again. Then you're still 12 years old. You're brought in for aggravated robbery, which the case was rejected. Then you turn 13, and then you have an evading arrest from the police on foot. You were let out, and then you ran away from home again a week later. 3 months later, you run away again. And so now, let's see, back in February, you were referred for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. All right, so you threatened your mom with a knife. When police got there, you're outside leaning against the car. They ID'd you because the police had just seen you and said you didn't like how your parents were disciplining you, and you made an emergency phone call. So you called again, said your mom used a belt to discipline you. And you told your mom she's not about to whoop you. And then you went in the kitchen and got some knives to threaten your mom. Other people restrained you. You started damaging property.
Can I speak?
All right, and so hold on. The week before, you were referred for criminal trespass because you refused to leave the school when the school told you to go because you were sleeping in the classroom. All right, so on March 4th, we released you on electronic monitor and community-based detention. And then on May 22nd, you cut off your monitor and left without permission. And we give you a drug test and you're turned negative. You're set for adjudication disposition on June 11th. All right. Mom, is there a reason why you cut off his monitor?
That you have to ask Jaden.
Okay. Well,
I myself, I was trying to, I was telling Jaden to do his chores, and he was on the game, playing the game or whatever, and you know, and whenever he was coming out, I was still talking to him, so he was coming towards me, but he was trying to go out to turn off the lights and go do his chores, but I pulled the door up a little bit, and I did hit him with the door, not intentionally, and I did.
Mom, I'm not talking about that. I'm just concerned about him cutting off his electronic monitor.
Okay, well, he did not want to obey, and he did not want to do his chores, so he got upset, and he ran outside, put a hole in the door, and he pulled it off.
All right. All right. So.
Really? You just go.
Mr. Alford.
Okay, cool.
I released you for you to be on the electronic monitor, so I know where you are because of the seriousness of the offense and your history of runaway, and you just ran away again. So obviously I can't keep you in the community while you're running away like this. I'm ordering you detained.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Amari and Allison.
Can I speak?
No, there's nothing. I've made my mind. I've already made my decision.
All right.
Don't forget your chair.
All right. Just put your chair up. Come on, Allison. All right. All right, you have a seat back.
All right, Mr. Allison, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing.
Yes, sir.
Child is brought to our detention facility. The law says you have to see a judge within 2 days after make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. However, if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so is it Sharika Allison?
Yes.
Okay, I see a request for a court-appointed attorney. So you are working 36 hours a week. Omarion is not receiving any kind of need-based government assistance, correct? Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, CHIP, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. And it's just the two of you living there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who's the gentleman with you?
His dad.
His dad, okay, y'all are separated, I guess, or not together, correct? Okay, well, I'm glad you're both here. All right, so Ms. Allison, I'm gonna find you're unable to afford an attorney. I will go ahead and appoint Mr. Pearson to be your son's attorney. Hello, Mr. Pearson, how are you?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, Marianne, so last night about midnight, or no, yesterday morning about midnight,
Yes, sir.
North PD saw a car driving without headlights. They pulled the car over, approached the vehicle, they could smell weed. You were cooperative, admitted you had weed in your pocket, found a baggie with substance resembling marijuana. While searching the vehicle, they found a loaded 9mm pistol. All right, Mr. Victorson, why didn't we give him a UA when he came in?
Well, we did, Your Honor. I asked for one to be done this morning because it was an unauthorized use of unlawful carrying of a weapon. That's not a normal procedure. So I asked him to do a drug test this morning, but I didn't get it into the report beforehand. He was positive for marijuana this morning.
Only marijuana then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess the question is, Mom, Dad, whose car was he driving? Do we know?
His car.
His car. All right. So he has his own car. All right. So what's going on? Tell me about him smoking weed. I mean, y'all know about it and y'all encouraging him not to, or y'all don't care, or
Encourage him not to.
encourage him not to. All right. Now, what about the gun? Do we know anything about the gun? Omarion, I don't want to hear from you. This is just from Mom and Dad.
Yes, sir.
This is a total surprise to me.
Both of them.
All right. So, does he have a job? Is that why he can afford a car?
No, he doesn't have a job.
Oh, where'd the car come from?
I bought him a car a year ago so he can get back and forth to school.
Okay.
And he plays sports.
Okay. See, my concern, Mom and Dad, is that I have a big thing about kids with guns, and I think y'all do too. I think we all do as a community. Here's my problem: is if I knew it was like your gun that he took, I knew where the gun came from, right? And that makes things a lot easier for me because I don't have to worry about the community. The fact that we don't know where the gun came from, that's what gives me concern. That's what worries me, because if I let him go, he can just get another gun again, all right? So Mom and Dad, tell me where are we now? You're both here. I think you're co-parenting, which is great. I appreciate that. But going forward with the information that we have, where are we going now?
No car. Car is gone. That's it.
Mom, are you on board with that?
Definitely.
Okay, definitely. All right. So he's got no car. He doesn't have school, obviously.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a job. So I guess there's no place for him to be going to, correct?
Well, I have been telling him he had to get a job the last couple weeks.
Okay. But instead he's driving around, well, allegedly driving around smoking pot with a loaded gun. Right.
Your Honor, if I may.
Not the kind of job you were looking for, Mom. Yes, Mr. Victorson.
If you are considering release, Your Honor, I would recommend community-based detention for this case.
Mom, what kind of grades was he getting in school last semester?
All A's, actually.
Yeah, straight A's. It's just, I mean, I don't know. Since school been out, I mean, you know, like I say, I'm not around, you know, we co-parenting, but, you know, he's just finding other stuff to do. I mean, usually he plays sports, but I think it's just the car that we really need to just grab, and that kind of like shut off a lot of stuff that, you know, he's been getting into, and, you know, just, you know, try a different route.
Yeah, so here's one of my concerns. He's not going to school. He doesn't have a job. He's driving around in a car. He's getting money for weed, getting money to buy guns off the streets. You see, I mean, this is what I see is there's a much bigger problem going on, right? Now he's an A student, plays sports, so I guess he doesn't skip school that much. It seems like everything I see, he really hasn't had problems. He's been doing well with his community-based detention. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. He was not. That's a different kid.
I gave the car this morning.
I'm sorry?
He will never have that car again. I gave the car away this morning.
Well, never is a very strong word. I believe as parents, we always need to adjust for the child. As the child's growing, we give more responsibility. As a child undermines our trust, then we need to take away privileges, right? I mean, that's just part of being a parent. Who does he hang out with, Mom?
Who does he hang out with?
Yes.
His cousin.
Okay. His cousin get in trouble with the law?
No.
All right, Mr. Victorson, we're still with the coronavirus. We're not doing the full community-based detention, though, correct?
No, that's correct, Your Honor. They're doing phone visits and video call visits, but they are doing curfew checks that way.
Mom, what was he out doing at midnight on Saturday night?
I work overnight.
Oh, so.
He has a curfew, but I work overnight. So if he come home, he'll be going to my dad's house every night on my way to work. But my only concern is he has some major health issues.
I understand. Well, Mom, let me ask you this. I really like you and Dad, all right? So my question is going to be, at this point, it seems like he's a good kid that made a mistake. Is this just a one-time, like not thinking, not do? Is that the issue here, or are there bigger issues?
No.
That's the issue?
I'm very surprised.
All right. All right. What I can do is I can go ahead and release him. Mr. Richardson, I'm going to stay away from the community-based detention on this one. Just seems like he doesn't have underlying issues that need that supervision. I think it's mostly just going to be him while the cat's away that he was trying to play. And so, but let me know, keep track of this one. If we need to change it to CBD, then I'm okay with it. I just don't see the need right now.
Yes, sir.
I can put you on an electronic monitor. We're going to do this for about 30 days. All right, Mr. Allison?
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
just going to see how it works out. And if it turns out that you're not violating, don't have any problems, I don't mind taking it off. But I'm giving you a chance on this one, all right? Don't let me down. More importantly than that, don't let your parents down.
Yes, sir.
All right, they've got places to be. They don't want to be here this morning, but they're here because of you. You know, a good kid will make their parents' lives easier, not more difficult. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Allison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard?
Victor Alvarado.
We're gonna have some paperwork. They may strap him and whatnot. If you have any questions, stick with Dana, he can answer them. Special schedules your son needs for church or whatever, they can take care of it. Okay?
All right, Mr. Alvarado, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case to see if I should release you or to keep you in custody. All right, so this started, you're 14 years old, assault bodily injury, you got supervisory caution. And then you turned 15, you had evading arrest on foot, which you had DPP, probably a stolen car, and evading arrest with a vehicle. All that you got DPP for. burglary of a habitation, 2 counts of burglary of habitation, which was supervisory caution by the DA. Wait, no. October 11th, you have evading of foot, theft of property $750 to $2,500, theft of property $2,500 to $30,000, evading arrest with a vehicle, a burglary of a habitation, unauthorized use motor vehicle, a burglary of a habitation. That's all on October 11th of 18. But the DA supervisory cautioned that one. November of 19, there's a burglary of a vehicle and a burglary of a habitation, which you got placed on probation for on January of this year, and a possession of weed. Okay, so now we're here. March 28th, about 6 o'clock, there was a shooting. Police arrived at the scene. They found an unresponsive male who had been shot in the chest. The shooter had left the scene, but the witnesses gave a suspect vehicle description. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. So witness indicated that she heard a boom, a female screaming. They described the vehicle, and then they got surveillance video. Another witness said that this all started the day before when the witness and the victim saw a group of people playing basketball, so they went to play, but they left. The park is across the street from the shooting. On that day, same group of people returned, shot the victim in the chest with a BB gun. And they recognized the person who shot the victim and their address. So when he and the victim were walking back to the house, the same vehicle stopped in front of the house. There was a verbal confrontation between him and the victim in the truck. Before they could get him into the house, they heard a pop. The victim grabbed his chest, say, ouch. He went to the house and collapsed in the kitchen. Provided a description. There were multiple people in the truck. And they looked at the video. Police went to the address provided by the witness, matched the description. After an interview, one of the suspects indicated that Victor drove to the location where the shooting occurred and saw Victor with the gun in his hand. Give you a drug test and you're positive for weed back in April, and you've been here ever since then. All right, so you're on probation for felony burglary of a habitation, and then now you are here on a murder charge. So, all right, so Mr. Alvaro, I see that you're level 1-0, but I'm deeply concerned about the safety of the community, all right? You're on probation for a serious felony, and now you're here what looks like a murder charge where somebody has died. You're using a gun. I'm not comfortable about the safety of yourself as well as the community, so I'm going to go ahead and order you detained. All right, Rafael Bonilla.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Davis.
And Frank is covering for Amy.
Okay, good. All right, Mr. Bonilla, this is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make that same decision. Also want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. You have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Bonilla, you are 16 years old. You have no prior contacts with this court. Let's see. On May 14th, there's a victim that made an outcry about Rafael. No, I see it. There's a forensic interview. So, Ms. Guerrero, are you here?
Yes, Judge.
How old is the victim?
13. And after running the report, Judge, the other offense came in on the brother.
Okay.
It was submitted by the police department.
All right, thank
So
you.
there's two.
Okay. No parent here?
His aunt was going to be on Zoom, Judge, and I don't see her name. It's
Okay.
Iris is her name.
All right. And this is, what's the relationship? Sister?
The victim,
Cousin.
one of the female victim is cousin, and the male victim is his younger brother.
Okay. All right. So, all right, Raphael, at this point, the factors I need to consider on whether to keep you or release you, a lot of it has to do with showing for court. It also has to do with the safety of the community as well as safety of yourself. All right. So I need to be very cautious about releasing you. This is not necessarily a case where I have to keep you here, but I have to be very careful about what environment I'm releasing you to. Okay. Without your parent or anybody here to talk to about this, I'm not comfortable. So I do need to keep you here for now. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So, but your attorney can certainly talk to the parents and figure out if there's an environment. I know your attorney well. He can come up to me and talk to me and we can figure something out. So I'm not hard set on keeping you here. What I'm concerned about is making sure that if I release you, everyone is safe. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Angel Estrada. All right, Mr. Adler, you're covering for Ms. Mills?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want me to pay you or pay her?
Pay her, please.
All right, Mr. Estrada, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make that same decision. I'll let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Estrada, you're 15. Started when you were 14 years old with an evading arrest on foot and an unauthorized use of motor vehicle. A week later, came back for possession of controlled substance, which you got probation for. You turned 15 last year. You got possession of controlled substance or unauthorized use of motor vehicle, which you're on probation for. You had problems. We had to issue a warrant for you. Then in January, you were arrested and brought in here for unauthorized use of motor vehicle, theft of property from $2,500 to $30,000, theft of property from $750 to $2,500. Wait, we had the car, we let you out, and then 4 days later you get picked up for another stolen car. And then a violation court order in February. So, okay, so we let you out. You took off your EM in your electronic monitor in April, and you snuck out the window. Your parents found you a couple of days ago, pinned you down until the police showed up. And you're positive for weed. All right, so Angel, here's the deal. You have these pending cases. We let you out because you're supposed to show up for court, but when you cut off your electronic monitor and run away, that tells me I cannot trust you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and order you detained.
Yes, sir.
Benito Gutierrez. this still have an attorney? Oh. Yeah, I thought I saw his name earlier. So, all right. So, Mr. Gutierrez.
Now this Howard.
Yes, I need Benito Gutierrez.
Come on, young man. Come on back, have a seat.
You were supposed to go at 8:30 this morning, I know.
No, I almost want to set, like, have them have all the kids ready at 10:15.
I don't know why they're not all seated somewhere, you know? It doesn't make sense. When Jesus comes back, we'll have to tell him.
What's Bradley's last name?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Gaywood.
Yes.
All right, this one was out of order. I mean, it's not your fault that he wasn't ready, but just out of curiosity, how far away are the kids? Like, what takes so long to get them here?
I went ahead and leave him out of class. I did not bring him. He was on the court docket this morning.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Gutierrez, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. You've been here for 10 days, so every 10 days we get to check on you and make that same decision. I'll let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so now this is the one, Benito. Yeah, no priors to this department. You're just turned 14 years old. Back in April, I guess you were still 13 at the time, there was a guy on an ice cream bicycle on 21st Street. He was being followed by two Hispanic juveniles. The victim said one of them told him to give him his money, pulled up his shirt, removed a handgun from the front of the pants. So the victim gave the money, then he was hit on the head with the butt of the handgun. And then there's a witness who saw this. They identified Benito and Daniel. And so, because they saw the robbery, they were brought before a judge for questioning. Benito confessed to part of it. They got his gun from a friend, gave it to Daniel. Daniel confessed, saying he had the gun. and hit the victim in the head, taking the money from the victim. All right. So, Mr. Gutierrez, my biggest concern is children with guns. All right. And so, especially when they use the guns in an offense. All right. So, this is the most serious offense. We are literally a quarter of an inch from this being a capital murder case. If your friend had decided to pull the trigger, if this is all true. So, I'm going to go ahead.
And Judge, I will note for the court that in fact it was a BB gun that is alleged to have been used.
Okay. So, I guess the worst it could have been is ag assault, serious bodily injury. That makes me feel a little bit better. Let me see that. Oh, here it is. Ms. Aguirre, when is this set? Do we know?
Honor, we're scheduled to go before Judge Terry at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and keep you in custody for now. Is it set? Do we have, Mr. Newman, do we have an agreement?
Yes, Judge. So I appeared in court from 8:30 this morning. Obviously, with the new procedures that we've had to undertake, it's a little difficult to get all the paperwork signed. So I cleared it with Judge Terry and the prosecutor that we'd be back around 2 o'clock this afternoon. As soon as I'm done with my detention hearings, I'll head up to detention and have the paperwork executed.
Great. So I think, Mr. Gutierrez, that seems like it's good news. It seems like there's a deal worked out. And I don't know what the deal is, but, you know, if you're going to go home, you're going to go home today. If you're not, then you're not. But either way, I'm going to detain you until at least 2 o'clock, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Now we have Jamil Howard.
That's Jamarian.
Oh. Right. Okay. All right, Mr. Howard, Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I need to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or release you. All right. And if you keep you, then every 10 days you have to see a judge again to make the same decision. I'll let you know that you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. Go back to number 2. I will let you know your attorney strongly urges you not to say anything at all. Okay, I will ask her before I talk to you, but she is encouraging you not to say anything. Is that correct, Ms. Johnson?
That is correct.
All right. So, all right, Mr. Howard, you were the one that actually you were having problems in CPS placement. So I had you come in and sit in on detention docket. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, and the point of that was for you to see what happens when kids make poor decisions. So currently you're level 3 confined in our detention facility, and the foster care system has no placement for you. So back earlier this month, we issued a warrant for you because you cut off your EM and you were listed as a runaway. Forest Hill found you, brought you back here to Kimbo because you were brought in on March 2nd and you cut off your monitor on March 12th. And this is referring to the actual offenses from February. There's a report that a student had threatened to shoot his father and the staff at the high school. The foster father said that Jermaine was upset about the meeting, threatened to get a gun and bring it back to the school to air that bitch out. And then your foster dad expressed concern and said they started searching for you. They found you and brought you here. All right, so Mr. Howard, I gave you the opportunity on electronic monitor to let you out. And so we knew where you were, but you chose you chose to cut off that monitor, go on your own. So you're basically expressing to me that I cannot trust you in the community.
This time I didn't cut my monitor off.
Hold on. Your attorney doesn't want you to talk, all right, which is fine. I don't want to put yourself in the spot, okay? Now, here's the thing. It's either the monitor was cut off or it wasn't cut off, either where you were where you were supposed to be or you weren't where you were supposed to be. It's really that simple. I'm also gonna let you know that you're level 3 confined. So if you can't follow the rules here at Kimbo, I know you can't follow the rules at home or at the foster placement or wherever you go. All right, you've created enough problems with your behavior and your decisions to create a situation that nobody feels like they can take responsibility for you. And it's nobody's fault but yours. So as long as you keep on doing your own thing, making your own decisions, not following any rules, then ultimately there is a place for children like that in the state of Texas, and that's either here at the juvenile detention facility or at TJJD. I need to make sure that you understand that, is you could be going to TJJD, all right? You could be going to long-term placement, Iowa or North Dakota or somewhere where you go there for 6 to 9 months at a time, so we can give you counseling and treatment and help you make good decisions so that you don't cause these problems as you get older, all right? It's really up to you. If you want to follow the rules, life doesn't get much easier. If you want to forget the rules and do it your way, life's going to be very difficult. And it's not just you, it's like that for every kid in America, okay? We all have to follow the rules. I have rules to follow, okay?
Yes,
So I'm already detained. I'm not even considering releasing you as long as you're level 3. I need to make sure you understand. I really probably won't even release you if you're level 2. I need a level 1 outstanding from you to really consider this and give thought about if you can follow the rules or not. Prove to me that I can trust you.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Roy Jackson. All right, Mr. Jackson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child is brought to our detention facility, the law says you have to see a judge within 2 business days and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. I'll let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, Mr. Jackson, you're 15 years old. This all started, see, you had just turned 14 when there's a burglary of a vehicle and a theft of a firearm, which you got probation for. Then a month later, you ran away. And a month later, you were picked up for criminal mischief. Then now you're on probation, and 3 months after that, we are here because back on February 4th, you were placed on 1 year's probation for theft of a firearm. You completed 30 days of electronic monitoring and 1 cycle of community-based detention. Then in July of 19, we received a referral. Oh, the theft of firearm was last February. Okay.
Yes.
So July 31st, a referral for robbery from April of 19. We extended your probation out to give you more services. And then March of this year, you were positive for marijuana and benzodiazepines. So we issued a warrant for you just because you're not following the terms of your probation. Your mom's reporting that you're being disrespectful, disobedient, and aggressive with your siblings. Mom gave you a home drug test, which was positive for weed. You admitted to using weed and having people deliver weed to your house. Mom takes away your electronics, you steal them back, and use the Wi-Fi to communicate with your drug dealers. So there's a recommendation that you do a long-term placement. All right. So, Mr. Jackson, I want to spell this one out for you, okay? What we have now is you are on probation for a felony level offense. That means you can be committed to TJJD. Do you know what TJJD is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's prison for kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you can do what's called an indeterminate sentence. That means I don't sentence you for a number of years or anything like that. I just send you to TJJD and they give you the services or whatever they think is appropriate. They tell me, say, Mr. Jackson's doing fine now, he needs to be released to the community, and they release you back to the community, to your mom's house. Unless you act a fool over there, and you don't participate, you don't do what you're supposed to do, then they keep you all the way up to your 19th birthday. There is no set amount of time. You could be there, you could show up on the first day and they can say, you know what, Mr. Jackson doesn't belong here, we're sending him home today. I can't control that, they make that decision. But they can also say, he's not learning, we're gonna keep him here, and it is, you turn 17, 18, all the way to your 19th birthday, I can't order you to come back sooner. They make that decision. So you can go to TJJD on what's called an indeterminate sentence. Now that is my last resort. I do not want to send kids to TJJD. I do send them regularly to TJJD. I do not want to. So the first step is really to give them probation, give them a chance. Now, if they have problems because they're making poor decisions, they're not going to follow the rules, they're not behaving, then the next step after that is not TJJD. We look at a placement. All right, and that's where we're at now. We're looking at a long-term placement, someplace that's gonna be 6 to 9 months. Places like Iowa, I think Utah has one, Missouri, they're all over the country. And you'll go there for 6 to 9 months and you can show if you can behave and follow the rules and get treatment so you can make better decisions and be contributing to our society. Or if you can't, then you come back and then we start looking at TJJD. So I wanna let you know now that I'm gonna detain you, all right, because you're not following the rules on probation. We are going to start a placement search to see where we can put you for 6 to 9 months to see if you can get the treatment that you need so you can start behaving and following the rules of society. If you go there and you get unsuccessfully discharged, I'm going to let you know the next natural option is TJJD. So if you're asking for a last chance before TJJD, long-term placement is it. Okay. If you go there and cause problems, you are basically telling me that you want to go to TJ. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a question for me?
No, sir.
Okay. So your behavior level is important because the placement facilities that are looking to take you will ask about your behavior level. They'll ask about everything going on here and they'll make that decision. If no place is willing to take you, then my natural option is going to be just go straight to TJJD. You understand that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So we can go ahead and I guess, Ms. Lacefield? Where's Ms. Lacefield?
Is it about him?
Oh, she's not here. Oh, who's the probation officer for this child?
Burns, a placement search was requested on April 22nd, but I have not gotten any answer back yet.
Okay, so we've already started the placement search.
Yes.
Good. All right. Well, we've started the progress, and let's do what's best for you, Mr. Jackson. Make good decisions. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. All right. You made some bad decisions already. All right. Let's turn those into opportunities to make good decisions. Make some good decisions, and good things will happen. I promise you that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Edgar Leos. You can see on the screen with his yellow box, that's where the audio is coming from. All right, Mr. Leos, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child is brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 business days and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. I want to let you know you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Finally, you have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so you just turned 16 on Saturday, I guess. Okay, so parents don't speak English?
Oh, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Edgar, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good. All right, so Mr. Adler, you're the attorney here now. If you want, Mr. Adler, I can put you in a breakout room immediately after, and you can explain what happened to the parents. Is that good with you?
Sure. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, so Edgar, you have no prior contacts with this department. Let's see, on May 23rd, so I guess that's Saturday, officers were, Saturday. Officers were patrolling an area known for narcotics. They saw a vehicle about 10 o'clock driving without its headlights, tried to stop the vehicle, but the vehicle sped. After a long chase with speeds up to 102 miles an hour, the vehicle stopped, and there was weed found on the adult companion Michael Mendez. All right. Let's see. Ms. Aguirre, why is he level 3 confined?
Your Honor, the notes reveal that he did not want to wake up this morning. So they documented as resident initiated separation.
Good. All right. So here's the deal, Mr. Leos. I think no one got hurt. I think it was a poor decision. You're here. You have the consequences to face. This is simply about whether to release you or not. I'm not going to release you while you're level 3 confined. Okay? There's obviously something going on here. You're not following the rules. You're not following order. You're not respecting authority. That's what I need to see from you. So I need you to get to level 1 outstanding, and then I'm going to go, okay, release you on electronic monitor. Okay? Mr. Allen, can you ask the parents why he was out at 10 o'clock at night with Mr. Mendez?
Sure. Buenos días. Soy el abogado de su hijo. El juez quiere saber por qué su hijo estaba afuera en la noche a las 10.
Estaba afuera porque salió con su amigo Michael.
He was out, Your Honor, because he was out with his friend Michael. Do you want me to ask them if they knew?
Yeah, do they know who Michael is?
Dos cosas. ¿Ustedes conocen a Michael y tenía permiso de estar afuera?
Sí.
Las dos cosas?
Sí, las dos cosas.
They do know Michael, and he did have permission to be out.
Okay. Whose car was Edgar in? Whose car was Edgar in?
¿De quién era el auto?
De Michael.
Oh, it was Michael's car.
Does Edgar have a driver's license?
¿Él tiene la licencia de manejar?
No.
No.
All right, Edgar, look, this can be, I mean, you don't have any priors to this department. This really, I'm considering the fact that this just could be a couple of really bad decisions that escalated into a situation that's horrible, okay? But what bothers me is you're here level 3 confined, that you refuse to do what they say. You refuse to stop for the police. You refuse to follow the instructions from our detention officers. Give me the confidence, give me a reason to think that if I let you go, that you're not going to cause problems. Get to level 1 0, and I'll go ahead and release you on well, I don't even we'll do community-based detention, okay? But if you can't be a level 1 0 here, then you're going to go home and cause problems there. You see where I'm coming from, Edgar? This is simply about, hey, look, you're 16 years old, all right? Be 16 years old. No one's asking you to be 18 or 20 or 40, okay? We're asking you to be 16, which means sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you make bad decisions, but at 16, you still have to respect authority. You're still a child by the law. You understand? Show me the respect for authority, and that gives me confidence to let you go. If you're not going to respect authority, that means I cannot let you go because you will cause problems again. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Edgar.
Thank you.
Wesley Smith. All right, Mr. Smith, I'm Judge Kim. We're here for a detention hearing. When a child is brought into our detention facility, you have to see a judge within 2 business days, and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 business days to make the same decision. I want to let you know that you have the right to remain silent, but if you give up that right, anything that you say at a detention hearing cannot be used against you at any other type of court setting. Also, finally, you have the right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Smith, you have no priors with this department. You're 15 years old. And let's see, on Saturday, the deputies responded to a disturbance at the Clear Fork Academy, which is a substance abuse treatment facility. When they got there, police met with an adult victim, a staff member who said Wesley, a client, had been in a separate classroom because of behavioral issues. He said he was leaving the classroom area, standing up, trying to walk out. The victim told you that the police would be called if you continue to aggressively disrupt. and try to guide you back to the seat. They said you struck the staff member on the left side of his face, causing pain, and the other staff restrained you until the deputies arrived. All right, so this is mom and dad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you all still together or are you separated?
No, sir. Perfectly together.
Okay, good. It's a fair question, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, so I'm pleased that you went ahead and checked him into a residential facility. Seems like y'all are proactive. Can I ask what his substance abuse problems are?
Marijuana.
Marijuana? Just marijuana?
That we know of. There's probably been some other stuff that we can't prove. He would answer that. He may answer that better than me.
Okay. Have y'all given him a hair follicle test?
We've given him many tests. We drug test him very regular when he's at home.
But a hair follicle test?
No, sir.
No.
Okay. That will go back up to 6 months and they'll tell you what's in there. He's got a full head of hair there. But just go to a lab and they will take a sample and you'll know what he's used over the last 6 months or up to, depending on the test. All right. So that's just kind of a parent to parent advice for you that you may want to choose to do. All right. So, well, all right. Let me give you my spiel. Mom and dad, I'm not convinced. I've not seen any study that shows that treatment works for marijuana use. Okay. I've looked for all the studies. I can't find it. The best possible treatment is a dual-based treatment, counseling-based, and you're looking at a sobriety rate of around 30%, 28 to 30% after 1 year, okay? So generally speaking, using marijuana is a choice. It's not a physical addiction, okay? And that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Wesley, I'm letting you know, in my opinion, is just choosing to use marijuana. It's not necessarily an addiction. Now, that's not to say substance treatment residential facilities do teach better decision-making. There's different components to it that can help. But I would just want to let you know, don't put your hopes too high. Marijuana is not like cocaine or other street drugs, okay? Now, my bigger concern here is knowing that y'all are frustrated with him and you check Wesley into a residential facility and he's causing problems there. And now, you know, even to the point not only being disruptive, but also being physically aggressive. Mom, Dad, where do we go from here?
Well, we don't know. I mean, we will be glad to take him home and hopefully his behavior will be better.
Mm-hmm.
Our concerns is a little bit, he has two younger brothers. Hasn't shown a great propensity for violence around our house, quite honestly.
Okay.
And this is my opinion, Judge. It wasn't so much a drug problem as it was an attitude problem that seemed to intermingle with each other for whatever reason. And not only that, but the things he would do that would put us in danger and even neighbors in danger to get the marijuana.
Sure. So let me ask you this then. Have you gotten him to a counselor or a psychologist or psychiatrist for any mental health needs?
Yes.
Okay. Is he on prescription for any of that?
No, sir.
No diagnoses?
No, sir.
Okay.
What they've told us is they can't diagnose him while he's using.
And he won't stop using, so you can't get a diagnosis.
Right. And we have been to several counselors. None of them have really worked. We did go through the drug court program here.
Sure.
And that ended about 3 months ago. And Chris Bell was his PO. And that was, I thought, helpful. We had the family preservation program and a counselor through that.
Hold on a second. So Mr. Lewis, are you here? Hi, Mr. Lewis. Okay, so Mom just said they were in the drug court program here, but I don't see any prior contacts. Can you give me some clarity on this one?
Yes, sir. When he successfully completed, or when a client successfully completes the drug court program, his records are sealed.
Okay, there we go. That's why I don't see it. All right. And Mom, that was for marijuana also?
Yes. And
okay.
We think he probably uses the other acid